Okay, hello guys. I will say one thing. I have to be quiet. I am up at like 1 a.m. right now. Just this episode had me crazy, but oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. What did I just watch? I literally watched this at like midnight. It was screaming my head off and like jumping on the bed. I wasn't actually jumping, but I was doing that like as silent as possible. I probably need some sleep, but no. I can't sleep with all the adrenaline from this episode. Holy frick. Let's get right into it. Oh my gosh. But to start, we see that they that they think um that what they think is the truth, that the display is a lie. Wow, I wrote that. Wow. That just so okay. But basically they see the screen of the video, the Jane Carmody cleaning of the green outside. And then they go into the trash chute that we got some story on back in episode 4. Also, are we going to talk about how Juliet just all of a sudden got the strength of Superman to break this lock? Like, oh my gosh. But as you probably know, this episode set up a lot for season 2 and left me with so many questions I still wanted answered. I mean, for one, Sims knows that Paul's the syndrome. That's gonna be crazy, and something has got to continue there next season. But we had the whole conversation with Sims and his wife. She said we have more, like, pay attention to our goal here. Like, we never got that answered. I guess we learned this episode that he was more in the dark than we thought. I thought he knew a lot more than he did. But I guess that's the situation. And then Paul ripped out a page from the book last episode. We never got to see what page he ripped out. Um, I was very curious. I thought they were for sure going to show it, but they did not. So yay. Also, are we gonna talk about how Juliet survived that fall? Because I don't see how I would survive that fall unless I had plot armor. I mean, also, why did Bernard keep the disc from the hard drive? I mean, like, why? Like, why? Lucas, poor Lucas, was sent to the mines. We never got much more on the stars either, and what they meant, and what purpose Lucas actually served. I mean, he was kind of there. I don't know, but we don't know why they can't use pulleys either. We never got an answer, or magnify things. I mean, we sort of understood why you can't use too much magnification, but they destroyed Hannah's gadget like it was very lethal to the environment or something. So there might be more there. But we also basically get confirmed that Hannah did kill herself and there was no foul play. Which is interesting. But we also obviously didn't get any answer about the steel door at the bottom of the silo, and Bernard's reaction to it tells me that he got reminded of it. To me, like he said, like, "Oh yeah, that." That's just what I thought. That's what I thought his reaction was. But he also says that the founders left lots of mysteries. So I wonder what the other ones are. What are these other mysteries? By the way, I did not find Bernard's "look away and see what you've seen" thing for 1 second. I thought the suits were making fake screens since episode 2. I'll talk a lot more about that later. About that towards the end. But we also see Walker leave the workshop for once, and she asks her old partner that she saw. We actually saw in some pictures earlier in the series, but to replace IT's heat tape with regular tape. Uh, Walker once again saving the day. We then learn that this was because the heat tape was somehow still letting some of the outside air seep in to the suits and in turn killing them. Therefore, the regular tape keeps her alive for longer. I'm not sure how long she can survive and how much oxygen she has, so we'll have to wait for the next season. But I've been so freaking curious about what is over that hill. And I was gonna be so mad if they didn't show us, by the way. But um, this was, in my opinion, a good cliffhanger. The cliffhangers that make you go, "Whoa, what just happened?" Not the annoying ones that make you, "Are you kidding me? I have to wait to see what happens next," because those just feel like more of a cheap way to make you come back. But that's just what I think. But getting back to the video, I'm not sure about one thing. Bernard says that it's right on schedule when Juliet falls. Was this something in the gas or like a certain amount of distance crossed? Then she falls. Like, I feel like once she crossed a certain region, she was forced to fall. I don't know. But when we see over the hill, I was totally expecting to see nothing because why would the programmers in their suits program a world over the hill if they can't get over the hill without dying? Also, on an unrelated note, I noticed that almost every cleaning, the person looks towards the birds and follows them with their eyes and their head and turns towards them. But wouldn't the people watching the cleanings catch on that everyone follows a certain path at looking at something in the sky? I mean, I don't know. It's just what I thought when she looked at the birds again. But I'm also wondering uh, where they got this world from. There are even mountains in the background. How did these people know about birds and mountains if the world is truly dead, you know? But I also think that this is probably Georgia based on the book and some of the landscape. But I was also curious about what Juliet was actually seeing. I mean, I thought it was a screen in the suit, but when Bernard goes to the IT servers to change something, it looks like the whole world changes around her. I mean, is there somehow a server that changes the look of the world around them? Or is it really just the suit and I'm just reaching here? Because the way she tries to touch that rock too, and how it just goes see through, makes me think that the server somehow changes the look of the world entirely. By the way, in the end frame, you can tell that each silo has a screen and a sensor. So I wonder if every silo is telling the truth or not with the whole "if the world is green" thing. Also, there are multiple silos. Holy freak, that's crazy. But this has to confirm that Bernard is part of Silo 18 with his little beeper that we learn this episode is actually a key. Is a key. They did some pretty smart writing this series with saying the silo a lot, which was making our minds think that this was the silo. They even say it this episode when Bernard is sending Joe out to clean. I also ended up counting all the silos, and I ended up counting 80 silos in the little frame we get when they did the full pan around. And seeing this again, I just noticed you can actually see the mountains. So I guess they would know about mountains. Um, Also, this is hard to tell, but these white things, are they gaps between the silos, or are they little buildings? I can't tell because it's pretty hard to tell. And these tall things, these are even harder to tell. They might not even show up on recording. But are they like cell towers or like towers, or am I seeing things? I don't know. But also the big questions. What happened for this apocalyptic world to occur? A meteor hit Earth or something? Or maybe humans spread themselves too thin with resources and things? I don't know. Also, they must have known that this was happening ahead of time to make the silo diggers and dig down for at least 80 silos. So, how much of the population actually survived? Also, so many questions. But um, why was going underground their only option? How advanced were they to make these diggers? And what really is just interesting me the most is that this looked like it took a long time, years and years and years and years. So, what did they know was coming, and what were they so afraid of? Also, am I the only one that thinks it's weird that there was a single city? I mean, today, especially if it were like Georgia, there wouldn't be just one big city in the middle of nowhere. There would be many towns and such. That's how humans have made our world. There's just not random cities in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there are, but this looks like a big city. But I mean, so how is it just open all around and then there's just one city? I mean, it's very confusing to me, but hopefully we will get all of these questions answered in next season, hopefully. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.